Aloha! Welcome back to DeFi Tactics. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do not make any financial decisions based on my word alone. Always do your own research. With that said, today we're going to discuss the YFIN or SFIN distribution, its schedule, and what we can expect out of Songbird Finance or Flare Finance once the YFIN or SFIN has been completely distributed. What's the incentives and where is the future of the platform after that? So let's get to it. So before we get into the YFIN or SFIN distribution and how the Flare Finance team set that up, let's first talk about the different ways that a project or a team can distribute their tokens. The way that a team decides to release or distribute its token can have a lot of implications as far as security laws or just general decentralization or centralization. So let's touch on those first, and then we'll get into the YFIN or SFIN. So one of the main ways that was big in 2017 for projects to distribute their tokens were ICOs, or initial coin offerings. Essentially, an ICO, project or team on their own or through a website or platform, they sell their tokens to investors in exchange for fiat or other cryptocurrency. There have been a lot of crackdown on these ICOs, as there's many countries that are looking at ICOs as essentially security offerings or unregistered security offerings, which, as a side note, that's what the SEC is going after Ripple right now for, even though we all know XRP is not a digital security. These ICOs can happen in a bunch of different ways, whether it's through a centralized exchange or whether it's through a decentralized exchange or just a completely private sale. Regardless of how it's done, essentially with the ICO, you've got the project and team raising capital by promising tokens in the future for capital now. Another way that tokens can be distributed to a community or a group of different people is by using an airdrop, which that's become the big thing now, especially on the XRPL, with all these new tokens being launched and trust lines being created. By distributing or airdropping tokens to a set of people that met certain conditions, whether it was using a platform or whether it was holding a token at a certain time or point in time, airdrops are a way to essentially give out free tokens, which takes away some of that fundraising capability of the ICO. However, it's a way to get around doing a securities offering or worrying about having to deal with the possibility of being sued for conducting an unregistered security sale. One of the last ways is liquidity mining, yield farming, fair distribution. This is where we are with the YFIN or SFIN, and a means to distribute that in an economical or fair and safe way with regards to possibility of getting sued from a securities offering. Liquidity mining refers to a token distribution in which users earn a protocol's native token by providing it with capital. Liquidity mining is distinct from the strategies laid out above in that the users do not purchase tokens but are rewarded with them, the so-called fair launch. Liquidity mining is a proven mechanism to distribute tokens to a network users. It also helps to decentralize a network right out the gate and is a growth marketing tool. The main drawback is that it's not a great tool for teams or projects that need to fundraise as part of a launch. So with the fair launch or yield farming or liquidity mining, it's a way to distribute new tokens to users that provide liquidity in an exchange, or for the example of Flare loans, provide some other service. And this allows users of a network the reward in essentially the new tokens or these upcoming launched tokens. So in the example of SFIN, users providing liquidity and farming those liquidity pool tokens in the Flare farm are earning SFIN. Those providing Canary Dollar in the stability pool are earning SFIN for participating in that ecosystem. This results in sending the governance token in the form of SFIN directly to the users that are participating the most. So now we're going to talk about the YFIN or SFIN distribution and how exactly that's going on. Well, we're on the main Flare Finance website, and if you click this read our white paper button, you'll be able to read and download the white paper, which I already did as I'm pulling it up right now. I want to highlight a couple things here. YieldFin. Flare Farm is allocated 8,000 YFIN or SFIN in the case of Songbird Finance. Distribution will take place over 2 years in all initial distribution farms and will have quarterly distribution halvings. Initial YFIN distribution is spread across 8 farming pools on Flare Farm. Now, while this is the white paper for the main Flare Finance on the main Flare network, it's safe to assume that using the Canary network will have a similar structure as we are testing things on the Canary network for the main Flare network. So it's my assumption that we will still have a 2-year distribution schedule for the Flare Farm, for the Flare Loans, and for the Flare Mutual. Biannual halvings, and I want to highlight this because those who participate early are going to be rewarded more because they're participating in the early days of the network. Biannual halvings are enacted as distribution checkpoints. Each pool will undergo a halving every 6 months, with 50% of the supply being distributed within the first 6 months. That means 50% of all the SFIN or YFIN will be distributed within the first 6 months. If there's a total of 2 years of distributions, you can see that those participating in the first 6 months are going to earn the most. A, because the distribution rate is a lot higher, and B, there also may be a lot less people participating within that first 6-month launch time frame. The final halving will take place 1 year and 6 months in, at which point rewards will continue to be distributed until the final block reward is issued. Once Flare Farm distributions are completed, and this is key, the platform will offer various launchpad tokens, staking pools, and governance pools, all established by YFIN holders themselves. Before we get into what this means for when SFIN or YFIN is completely depleted and has been completely distributed, I want to highlight the YFIN or SFIN rewards in Flare Loans. There will be 1,000 YFIN issued by the foundation to the Flare Loans platform as an added incentive for participation in the Flare Loans platform. Additionally, in Flare Mutual, there will be another 1,000, where are we at the bottom here? Yep, an additional 1,000 YFIN or SFIN will be distributed by those who participate in the Flare Mutual. If you're getting anything out of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and left me a comment in the comment section below. Also, there's a Telegram group chat with the link in the description of this video down below. It's where different community members can help out other community members. They can ask questions, answer questions, participate in different discussions as far as tactics and strategies go. So check that out. So here we are on the Flare Farm, where we can see there are a bunch of different pools, all which can be participated in order to earn SFIN. Now, eventually that SFIN is going to be completely depleted. So what's the future for the farm and these other modules on Flare Finance? Well, as it said in the white paper, this will be a launch pad for other tokens that need to be or want to be distributed through the fair distribution model. Other projects may not want to deal with an ICO where they have to worry about securities violations and governments coming after them. Additionally, they may not want to participate in an airdrop as they want to reward participants in this network. So moving forward, after the SFIN or YFIN for the main Flare network is completely depleted, this will be a great section for new projects to launch. That way, when they launch on the Flare network, they are distributing their tokens to the people that are going to already participate in the Flare network, or Songbird network in this case. So by rewarding those who are already participating, instead of giving an airdrop to somebody that may not use it, or by selling it in an ICO style fashion to those who... So by launching their tokens and distributing their tokens on the Flare farm, this will allow projects to get their tokens into the hands of the community and the people that are using the network. Now I want to highlight PancakeSwap as this is one of the first farms or yield farming platforms protocols that were launched. The way PancakeSwap does it is by providing the liquidity pool tokens in the farm. Users are rewarded with cake. Cake is an inflationary token. It has some deflationary properties. However, there's no launch padding going on in the actual farm. What is then used is cake is then staked in these syrup pools, and this is where different tokens can be launch padded and distribute their tokens to the PancakeSwap community. So Flare Finance or Flare Farm is going to take both of these different protocols and combine them into one, where the SFIN or YFIN will already be completely distributed, so we'll stake directly with our LP tokens in the farm to earn the tokens that will be launched in the future on Flare Farm. So that about wraps it up for this video. Again, I just wanted to touch base on the distribution of S or YFIN and what the future is looking like once all of the SFIN and all of the YFIN are completely distributed. As always, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. We'll catch you next time on DeFi Tactics. Which type of way? Mess that one up. Or SFIN in the term participation or participators. What? So participating in the Flare Farm and by launch padding.